Today we're sitting down with Diana Cohen, the founder of Crown Affair, the haircare brand that's managed to break through one of the most crowded markets. Before launching her own brand, Diana spent years behind the scenes at some of the most influential direct-to-consumer companies, working with brands like Away, Outdoor Voices, and even Harry's.
The Away girls taught me that people are lucky to invest in you. You got to go into these meetings being like, you're lucky if you get to be a part of this.
She became the go-to operator, helping young brands scale while also becoming the haircare friend in her circle, the one everyone turned to for advice, rituals, and products.
The reason that Crown Affair is around is because the product is good.
From launching Crown Affair with just 4 products in 2020, to landing Sephora nationwide, to building one of the most recognizable communities in beauty, Diana's journey is full of lessons. She raised millions in funding, scaled D2C with intention, and grew her business to over $30 million in revenue. So inevitably, we've gone deep to get some of her best learned lessons. Welcome, Diana. We're so excited to have you. Before kind of getting started into Crown Affair, I just want to hear a little bit about your background. I know that you worked at some of the biggest D2C brands that exist. Can you tell me about what you were doing before? Talk the audience through what started you into entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, guys, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. So I grew up in a really small town in South Florida called Lighthouse Point, and I dreamed of going to New York and moving to New York. I went to NYU, which was amazing. I studied art history and Italian, and I was really lucky to intern at a ton of places. Was at Into the Gloss. I was then hired by a woman named Erica Katz, who founded Seed, which is an amazing symbiotic. She was like my first boss after Emily and really taught me everything I know about marketing. It was really cool. I became obsessed with consumer behavior, and then for the rest of that decade, I was an early employee at consumer brands. So I was the 8th employee at Away, the luggage company, which was amazing to work on for so many reasons as a role. And then I launched my own brand agency called Levitate. With my clients were Outdoor Voices, Harry, The Wing, baby food company Yumi, ton of different brands that I was working with. That's what I got Forbes 30 Under 30 for. And then nights and weekends, I was working on Crown Affair because I'm obsessed with hair, which we'll get into shortly. And then I launched Crown Affair January 28th of 2020. So yeah, been in the startup world. I know that was like a full monologue, but yeah, I spent a decade in the startup world as an early employee because I love creating things that change the way that people feel about themselves and creating things that change people's behavior. It was amazing working in the glory days of D2C, but I will tell you, and you guys know this as business owners, so much has changed over the last 5 years, I think, with social, with COVID, all of that. So even though I learned a lot of what to do, it was kind of more what not to do. And honestly, a lot of that playbook is not relevant now. So ultimately, it just made me really resilient, I think, as you launch a business in this day and age, which is an essential.
Yeah.
Wait, so this is your second company?
This is my first consumer business, but my second company in terms of Levitate was an agency.
But still, that's super interesting because your second company, why? I know we want to talk about the founding story, obviously, but why did Levitate not work out?
It didn't not work. No, it was working. And actually, I still have the LLC. And I kind of joke that like I'll go back to Levitate one day. So I started Levitate for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to choose how I was spending my time, which I did not have the option as an employee. I think that's why a lot of people get into consulting or freelance. 2, I wanted to choose who I was working with. I think as an early employee, I was like employee 5 or 8 or 11. And like I'd wake up a year later and there were like 150 people around me. And you're just like moving fast and breaking things. And that is a lot on your nervous system. So with Levitate, I was like, oh, I can kind of like drop into these brands, you know, sprinkle my special, help them build it. The way that I structured it was instead of me building out Levitate and like hiring employees, every single one of my contracts, whether it was with Outdoor Voices, Harry's, whoever, they let me hire someone for them. And that person dotted line reported to me. So the concept, instead of like me building out an agency, because I knew from all my friends who had agencies, whether it was Jesse Darris or whoever, it was like, it's a lot to manage people and it's client-based work. So you don't know about the revenue. Like it's hard to build agencies. So my whole strategy was very much like teach a man to fish. So all of these businesses would let me be a part of the hiring process, train that person. And then the goal is like, I'm not going to do this forever with you. Yeah. I like this part of the thing. So I would stay on with clients for like 2 years, build out that team, and then left. So it was just a really natural evolution. The truth is too, from like a retainer perspective and also choosing who I work with, there are only so many, Jeff and Andy's at Harry's. There are only so many brands that have the budgets and the understanding of the work that I was doing, which was brand strategy, go-to-market strategy. I built out the influencer and ambassador programs for all these places. So like setting up affiliates.
Before that was even a thing.
I mean, it was loosely a thing, but like, Outdoor Voices in Thai was a great example back in 2016, 2017. She had all these amazing relationships that were entirely hers. Mm-hmm. I had some as well from my previous roles, but like there was no structure internally to it. There was no metric around it. So like I remember setting up like the Slack channel for like an ambassador program. And, what's so cool about being in the community is like someone like Kim, who's incredible, who built the community at Glossier early days. Like we would be able to compare notes and figure out how these programs worked. And yeah, so I was doing that at all these brands. So when I actually started Crown Affair, it was such a gift because I was able to learn on someone else's dime, for lack of a better term. And I say this to young people all the time who are like, I want to be a consultant or I want to start my own company at 24. I'm like, that's great. And obviously some people are ready, but it is a privilege and gift to be able to learn and make mistakes and try things with the stakes being lower.
Yeah.
Genius.
You know?
And so how did you go from Levitate to Crown Affair? I hear there was like a viral Google Doc involved.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was two things. It was the Google Doc. So while I was doing Levitate, I was in Austin a lot for OV.
That's where I'm from.
I love that. Austin. I love Austin, by the way. What a special place.
We're going.
I've never been.
Anyway, I was going there. Everyone's active, like so active at OV, like waking up, going to Barton Springs, going for a jog, not like New York for the record. And the girls would be like, what are you doing here? Like every time after I'd be like combing and brushing and doing all this stuff. And they're like, tell us what you're doing with your hair because I don't understand. So I put it in a Google Doc. I also was, my friend Lexi in New York at the time too. I had coffee with her. She's like, can you just send me everything you use? So I put together 12 things. Hey, this is a hair towel. I really like this hair towel, but I kind of wish it didn't look like a car wash towel after 3 washes. I kind of wish it wasn't shaped this way. I kind of wish there was a strap in the back, whatever. The brush that I used at the time, it was Mason Pearson. People are like, you use a $200 hairbrush? I don't know why. That's a lack of education. It's a guidance thing. It's like having a great hairbrush is an amazing thing to have. If you don't know why, it seems like a crazy thing to do. Mm-hmm. Shampoo and conditioner I liked, but what, things that I wanted different, those were Orbe. A Christophe Robin scalp scrub that I swear by, but wasn't color safe. It had sulfates in it.
Do you color your hair?
I don't color my hair. My sister's been coloring her hair for 25 years. So it's like my personal life journey with her to take care of her hair and my mom as well. It's because it is, you have to take time to do it. And you can make your hair very healthy if you color it. You just have to understand hair is a fiber. All of this is to say that Google Doc went way beyond my network. It was pre-TikTok. So it wasn't TikTok viral, but like, people were sharing it. That was the light bulb moment for me of like, oh wow, unless someone's in their stylist chair, they have no idea how to do their hair. So that was a big thing. Separately, I went to Japan that April, May, and I just fell in love with, I already loved Japanese culture, but to me, how intentional they are about everything, the ritual of the things that they do. I went to a head spa in Shibuya, and to me, it was like the opposite experience of a blowout bar. I was like, oh my God, there's so much care in the scalp and the strand. And that's where I was introduced to Tsubaki seed oil, which is an oil that's not really used in the States, especially in hair care. You mostly find like argan oils and coconut oils and like oils that molecularly are very heavy. And I have a fair amount of hair, but it's quite fine. So most oils or leave-ins like kind of leave my hair greasy or clumpy. And then I have to wash my hair all over again. And it was then in Japan that I was like, oh wow, they have different ingredients here that are so much more lightweight. They sit on the hair fiber differently. So to this day, with over 20 formula products, every single product has Tsubaki seed oil in it at Crown Affair.
And why was that not a thing in the US yet?
They have it in some skincare products, but it's just not, I truly do not know why. It just wasn't a thing. So like, and it was funny when I was in Japan, I kept petting my hair. My husband's like, please stop, you're being weird. I'm like, but it's so soft right now.
Can you do the modern Google Doc? I need access.
I will. Okay. I'm going to make an updated
be a list
one.
of
Your hair is amazing. I'm staring at it.
It has been a journey though. I mean, your hair changes every 6 to 7 years. It's totally different than it was in high school or even in my early 20s. And I am a very big believer in like hair longevity, if you will, which is like taking care of the hair that you have and understanding it and demystifying it. And like my life's mission with Crown Affair is kind of to make hair care cool.
Really quick for our listeners though, can you just tell me, like, if I am having, and everyone has so many different problems with their hair, like where do you start into finding the right products? Like, you have fine hair and you needed a certain oil, right? Like it's such a competitive market and you really have figured out how to fit into a white space in it, and as a result become like one of the best selling brands at Sephora, and congratulations. But like, what would you say to people around like why understanding your scalp health is important and valuable, and how to think about it?
Yeah. Okay, so it's so interesting. Scalp and strand health are different. And I think the first thing is even just like considering those things to be true. Yeah. Like, you might hear about a product on TikTok that's like going to be great for hair growth, but it's like not going to make your hair look good.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want products that do both, and everything with Crown Affair. Like, I'm one woman with one hair type. I'm also very intentionally not a professional hairstylist. Mm-hmm. I'm obsessed and have so much deep respect for professional stylists. I've been going to my stylist for 13 years. I'm really close with the hair community. It is a different skill set. They are achieving a look in a moment. They are not thinking about how you're taking care of your hair 60 to 90 days beyond the salon. And from day one, my entire goal with Crown Affair was like, how can you get back in your stylist chair, however long that is later? And they're like, why is your hair so healthy and look so good? So it really, for me, it's about creating products that are elegant, simple, intuitive, high quality, and actually perform and aren't just formulated for like, let me achieve this look while you sit in a chair and I do it for you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Every single thing I make at Crown Affair is like, I am the person doing the thing. I'm not going to wake up and be a professional stylist with 20 years of experience. Yeah. And you aren't either, listener. Yeah. Unless you're an amazing hairstylist, then good, that's incredible. But for me, it's like, how do we formulate things that are intuitive? So hydration is huge. Even if you have fine hair or short hair or anything, like, you need to hydrate your hair. Think of your hair like when you cleanse your face and you don't put a moisturizer on, it can get dry or tight. Or even think of with shampoos, like a cleanser on your face. If it's too intense, it'll like make your face feel tight. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with your scalp. So think about your skincare routine. It's the same with your hair. Obviously, it's not a direct parallel, but whether you go with shampoos, cleansing scrubs, anything like that, you need to find something that's not going to be abrasive to your scalp, is going to keep it comfortable, all of that. With the actual strands themselves, you need something that hydrates but doesn't weigh it down. It is trial and error. And your hair changes as you age. So something that could have worked for you 10 years ago, like it might be time to revisit. But there are basic things. Like, I recommend not using products with sulfates in them because they really do strip the hair of like those natural healthy oils. The other thing is like, there's really simple ways to integrate hair care that don't require you changing up every formula. Like, integrating a hair towel post-wash is so simple, and your hair as a fiber is really vulnerable when it's wet. So instead of like having your hair be soaking damp and putting products on it, they're not going to take, it's not going to work the same. Or like rough drying your hair with a cotton towel, like it's going to cause way more frizz and breakage. So that's a really easy step. It's also like a beautiful ritual to do. Mm-hmm. Brushing your hair for straight and wavy hair girls, just trust me. Trust me. When you both go home tonight, I want you to brush your hair. Using a nylon bristle brush. It will move the natural healthy oils from your scalp to your strand. It helps most of hair growth at the scalp is about stimulating and circulation. Mm-hmm. Wow. That is why brushing your hair is important. And I always say, I'm like, the one thing, get a good hairbrush. Okay. Call me in 30 days.
That's period. What I was going to ask. What's the one thing for a busy mom, right?
Get a hairbrush, call me in 30 days. Because also, by the way, you're
that
physically exfoliating. So if you have seborrheic dermatitis, if you have buildup, that's huge. The other thing is, I'm a big fan of auditing the products you're using. And a good example of that with our products is the dry shampoo. Mm-hmm. I talk to moms, I talk to people, they're obviously using aerosol dry shampoos that have been on the market forever. And they're like, my hair's not growing, or why does it look this way? I'm like, honey, let's take a step back. Let's actually look at what's in your products and see, because your scalp absorbs products 10 times faster than your face does. So using a talc-free, aerosol-free dry shampoo, you will notice the difference. Instead of like trying to put a Band-Aid on it with like a growth supplement or like a topical serum, like audit what you're using. But hair's overwhelming. Even as I talk about this, it can be so different. But I feel like even doing 2 or 3 different things, period, you'll notice a difference in your hair health. And ultimately, your hair will look better.
Yeah. One quick question around that. When you say like audit your products, how long do you think you need to commit to a product before knowing if it's working or not working?
I mean, it's so funny. So we have a scalp scrub. Guys, I think it is our most underrated product. It's kind of a secret because when I formulated it, I was not thinking about wholesale. So it is a very, like the ingredients in this formula are insane. And we can't really market it that much in wholesale right now because the margins don't make sense.
Yeah.
But I refuse to make this scrub of lesser quality. Like I think most people or business people would be like, oh, let's just like put filler ingredients and whatever. I'm like, I don't care because this is it. When you try this scrub, you feel it right away. You
try it tonight.
Try it tonight. You will feel your scalp lifted at the roots. You will feel it's next level, and you get 2 more days extra out of before wash day because of this product. So like that's immediate.
incredible.
I already never wash my hair, so
I mean, between that and the dry shampoo, basically, I never have to wash my hair.
You never have to wash your hair.
Okay, so
and it feels good, by the way. That's the thing that's crazy. It's not like a buildup. So yeah, I'm just trying to always get 1 more day before wash day.
I mean,
same.
we all
Especially with this,
washing this massive thing. I know it's not you and me. Oof,
she's a
it's tough.
character.
It's a whole thing, but. I want to talk a little bit more about the founding story because I found it so fascinating. Where you came up with like your first product, the one you were telling us about, Attaway. So I want to hear that. I think the audience would find that interesting.
Yeah. So it's funny. So our first products were actually the towel, the comb, the brush, and the oil.
Okay.
But the next, I think it was either like, I think we launched the hair mask and then the falling product, whatever. Within that year was the dry shampoo. And my life is held together by dry shampoo. I don't know about you guys, but it's an essential product for me. And for years, I was using aerosol dry shampoos. When I was working at Away as head of partnerships, they were long days. I remember the days of being in an office 5 days a week.
Pre-COVID sweatshop days, yes.
Long hours.
Especially
can't believe
the brands
we did
worked
that.
at, like agencies,
Like 9 to
Burberry,
8.
like
9 to 8. By the way,
9
yeah,
to
not
8
9 to, 9 to
least.
7:38.
People would never do that now.
Ever.
At Burberry, you'd start at 7 during, like, in the run up to fashion.
I would do
Week.
9 to 10 p.m. sometimes.
Oh, easy. And like then you would, by the way, because we were in New York, I was like going to dinners and then like drinks and then dinners and doing social things. It was crazy.
People just don't do that anymore. And maybe in certain industries you do, but
yeah, no, it's a different time. But I was long hours. I'd always have a little aerosol dry shampoo in my desk drawer. I went to go to a dinner. My hair was like on day 4, it was totally empty. And I was like, what do I do? So I grabbed my Laura Mercier translucent powder and a kabuki brush that I like used for bronzer and literally put the Laura Mercier powder all over my scalp. And I went to dinner and people were like, Diana, your hair looks so good right now. And I'm like, I think it had like a little shimmer, but like my hair just looked like light and fluffy and voluminous and it like smelled good. And I was like, there is no dry shampoo that does this. Why? And I, by the way, after that, I looked for powder dry shampoos, you know, the ones that you like put squish out. Like nothing in the market was even close, like grainy, like, you know, didn't apply nicely with a brush, like left that like kind of white residue, the whole thing. And I was like, if I ever do this, I was like, that is a formulation I want to make one day. It's like super finely milled, silky, hydrating, talc-free, non-aerosol. And when we started working with our chemist, I told her, I was like, it's so funny. I had this experience and I've literally never been able to find anything else. And to be totally honest, when we first had it, I was still alternating. I was so used to aerosols. I mean, I did aerosols for 20 years, forever, whether it was chlorine or Batiste, literally everything. And then once you finally integrate this application, it's so much more targeted, so much more mindful. It's a beautiful experience, but also you don't need to wash your hair after day 4 or 5. Because by the way, could you imagine spraying an aerosol on your face 3 days in a row and not washing it?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing on your scalp.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'd rather have a translucent powder on an area of my face 3 days in a row than an aerosol can.
Even when you are spraying it on your scalp and you can feel it like sticking to your face, you're like, this is.
I mean, it sounds like it's a genius and innovative idea. Have people copied it?
Yes.
I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's the thing when
Yes,
you create a
that's the
beautiful
thing.
brand universe and great products.
But the
people are
original
inspired.
hopefully always wins.
No one else can be you. And I think that's what you have to remember.
Yeah.
Also, in our category, it's actually really hard to create clean products that also work. There are lots of clean products. They make your hair look like a greasy oil spill. And then there's a lot of really high performance products, but they're not every day. You know, like I could tell you whether it's like that iconic gold L'Oreal hairspray or even like Color Wow Dream Coat is an insane magical product. Like I'm not putting that on my hair every day, you know?
Right,
So for me, Crown Affair is about these like things that you can actually use on your hair every day that are not going to cause buildup. All of our styling products, we don't have alcohol in them. Do you know how hard it is to formulate a hair gel that doesn't have alcohol in it? Like it's impossible.
Probably so expensive too.
Correct. So that's why, yes, people can copy us conceptually, but the execution is just so much better.
How'd you come up with the name?
Crown Affair.
I mean, obviously I love it. It's so chic. It's so you. Tell us about it.
So the obvious is the crown affair, the crown of your head, and a love affair with it. And that the crown really what spoke to me. I was in a Pilates class, and the instructor told everyone in the room to lift through the crown, and everyone in the room just like stood a little taller on their reformer, and I was like, oh, that's such a nice thing. But my husband and I met in 2013 at the Museum of Modern Art at a Renee Magritte curatorial walkthrough. I studied art history, as I said. So the way that I stayed connected to art when I was at Into the Gloss was I joined the MoMA Young Patron Program. They do amazing walkthroughs at night and programming. And it was the Renee Magritte experience. And the hero image for the show was his classic Son of a Man, the bowler hat. You know that painting? It's like the bowler hat with the apple in front. That was the hero image for the show. My husband and I met there. And the Thomas Crown Affair, if you've seen the 1999 version with Rene Russo, who's an icon, and Pierce Bronson, that's painting is a big part of the narrative of the film. So that is why it's called Crown Affair. And for years, my husband and I
Meant to be.
For years, we get each other like little Magritte, like on anniversaries and stuff. We'll get like little things off Etsy and things that are like Magritte inspired, which has always just been a part of our love story.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, it was available and I could buy the domain. So like that's a real thing
It's
too.
such a good name. It's
that would never happen
the
now.
brand. It's so the brand.
Thank you.
It is a great name.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to talk about, because your products are there's so much innovation that goes into them, and you're really saying like, not only do I want something to like feel different, but I want to do it without using chemicals and using sulfates and using all of these things that our competitors do. How do you go from working in brand and marketing to suddenly creating your own products and asking for scientific differentiation as somebody who doesn't come from that background?
None of it's me. It's the secret. I have an amazing team. So,
but it still stems from your idea and your ability to think that way.
Yeah. No, I think the product philosophy is me. Like I wanted something that was beautiful, all of those things, beautiful, luxurious, clean, better for you. Like you shouldn't only have great quality salon products at the expense of the health. So my husband's best friend from elementary school is a bioengineer and chemist. And he is brilliant. He has a biotech company. He worked at McKinsey in supply chain. His brain and my brain have no Venn diagram overlap. Like he is truly the other side of me. And we truly started this company nights and weekends, just like at his kitchen table at his apartment in Battery Park City. Like we'd have lunch.
So he's still involved?
Yeah, he actually oversees all of our quality.
Amazing.
For the brand. He goes to the labs. Oh no, he doesn't have an Instagram, doesn't want to be external facing, but he's my secret weapon of like, hey, for him, he's been in biotech. I'm like, hey, here's a really good hair mask or scrub from 20 years ago. Can you reverse engineer this? So for him, it's honestly been a superpower for us because he really understands the chemicals and the formulations and something like a hair gel, for example, like making hair gel without alcohols that has hold that you can brush out after you have a slick back. You can literally go home late at night and not have to wash your hair. Usually gel makes your hair flaky, crunchy.
Disgusting.
It feels like a magic trick.
Yeah.
But me on the brand side, I was really intentional about not making a hashtag science brand. I don't want to lead with the molecule. To me, it's like that's so in the DNA and baked in. It should feel like a surprise and delight moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be obvious to you as a customer. That's kind of the joke internally is like Crown Affair is beautiful and it also works.
Yeah.
But it's
you need both.
But I don't want to show the magic of a magic trick is not knowing how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
The second you know how a magic trick works, you lose that whole sense of awe. So much of, for me, building an excellent brand and a brand universe is like making the customer and audience feel the magic trick without feeling the labor of it. Like a great ballerina.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I know she's working so hard, but I don't want to see that when she's on stage.
Yeah.
Wow. So is he still like, what is it? You said he's with the company. What's his role?
He's like technically a consultant now. So he does quality.
But y'all started it together.
Yeah. But and then I have my CEO, Elaine, who was my first hire. Like
she sounds
the
amazing.
Third piece. I always feel like, and anyone listening, if you're starting a company, like having a co-founder or a partner, whatever that, however you structure it. I have always been the sole founder, and Dan and Elaine are like my right hand other brains, and they understand because we're all so different. And I really feel like there's power in the triangle.
I agree. I have a triangle too.
Do you have a triangle?
Brooke, I don't know if you've met Brooke.
No,
It's
we
me,
should
Max,
talk
and Brooke.
about the triangle because
There is
no
power.
one talks
the power
about
of
the
three.
triangle.
The power of three. It's a thing.
The triangle, the power of three is real. And I think kind of essential. It's almost like if one person needs to be off or out or navigate, it's like you still have the other two. And there's like balance in the whole thing.
Yeah, you ebb and flow. Who's super inspired this week, this year, this month. And I think there's a power in the triangle. I've never heard somebody talk about it.
Yeah. Also, like, Elaine is obsessed with systems. She's an insane manager. Like, I'm not a good manager. I'm a great mentor. Management, not my strong suit. I know this because I spent a decade working for people who thought they were good managers and they weren't.
Right.
You know, so you learn through that. And Elaine is a superpower manager. Dan's insane at the spreadsheets and supply chain and chemistry. And I'm the brand person. And it's like, I honestly, shout out to people who are doing 2 of those roles, let alone 3. And a lot of founders are doing all 3, which is mind-boggling to me.
If you can divide and conquer, that is the unlock, because all of a sudden the whole company punches above their weight.
Correct.
Because at one given hour, you're each doing something really powerful.
Correct.
I love it. We need to talk about that.
I know.
I did everything
The triangle.
alone, so.
Yeah, by the way.
The triangle.
Right above.
I don't even know how to take part in this conversation.
Our place was a triangle too. I feel like if you look at a lot of successful companies, even if there's not other founders per se, they have other CCO or CEOs involved that allow you to divide and conquer and all use your expertise, because, you know, time isn't a finite resource.
To go off piece a little bit then, though, so we're not creating more blockers for people who are listening who want to start their own companies and don't know investors, let alone co-founders who have different skill sets. What do you say to those people who don't have a triangle around them?
Meet someone. We just had an amazing founder of Rael in here, and she's a triangle too. And her co-founders reached out to her because they were looking for a certain piece of the puzzle. So I think network, join groups like League of Originals, Female Founder Collective.
Who gives a crap?
Founders
Also,
Weekend.
triangle.
Also, there's so many triangles when you think about it.
By the way, Away was a triangle too. People don't know Mark Chow, but he was the third part of that triangle. With
a lot of times you don't even know there was a triangle.
Well, because by the way, for a triangle to work, there needs to be like one person's going to
person
low-key have the
face.
ego, hide, you know, me, and then 2 people.
Me.
Yeah, no, totally. By the way, that's okay. We
No
all
one
need
knows
each
Max
other.
exists.
Yeah,
correct.
But
We
also
all need
those
each other.
other people don't want to be at the forefront, you know, like,
They stay in their
that's
magic.
important as well. Like, I'm definitely a sit behind a laptop person. Like, that is where I'm happiest.
But here you are, and
but you forced me.
But I think, by the way, though, I think to your question of like, A, the networking is so huge and going to these places, but B, like, everything first starts as an idea.
Yeah.
So someone's either going to be like into it or not. And people want to help build things. So you will know if you're working on whatever it is that your company is. Like, if so-and-so is like trying to help, or they want to sit with you and have coffees and map these things out, like, it will happen very organically. And for me, like, transparently, I am the biggest owner of the triangle.
Yeah.
For me, it's like my vision, my idea, my face, and like obviously these people are a part of it and excited, but like that also created balance. And I think if you're out there and you don't have a co-founder, like I was working on Crown Affair nights and weekends for 1.5 years before I even met Elaine.
Yeah.
I could not do this business without Elaine now, but she was like my first hire. So it's like, maybe that person in your triangle is your first hire. And maybe that other person is the person who's really good at supply chain or spreadsheets or whatever it is that you're doing and wants a piece of this, but they don't want to be external facing. You know, there's so many ways to structure it, but listen to your gut. And I'm a big believer that people are just going to start supporting. You don't have to like figure out the percentage or the number or that yet. Just like get the wheels turning and then you can reverse like, okay, actually, I'm going to do this. You do this, and here's how we're economically structuring the deal.
And you definitely need to find like some help, whether it's like C-suite or I believe co-founder, but you know, single founder is just too hard. Somebody burns out. Like you need that support. So that triangle.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's also possible with one person.
Of course.
Yeah, oh, totally.
But yes.
It's
totally
possible.
Also, like that, it could be a fit for
It's
you.
harder.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely harder.
Yeah.
Know
when
thyself.
everything like starts and stops
know
at you, it's always
thyself.
going to be harder. Haircare is important, and that's why we've convinced Crown Affair to offer our listeners an amazing discount code. You can use code HTBS15 for 15% off. Again, that's HTBS15 for 15% off. Okay, I want to talk about fundraising a little bit because I want to get tactical on that. And we were talking a bit about magic, and you've pulled off some like incredible fundraisers, especially the years that you did it and given it was in the D2C space.
Yeah.
So I know you've raised several rounds. Can you talk about what that process was like and what the difference between, say, maybe a 2 million seed was to your recent Series B?
Yeah.
I assume like the seed you did yourself, and then the Series B, I know Elaine was involved and other people on your team were involved. Like, how do those different raises look?
Totally.
And also, let's start there, and I won't overboard you with questions.
No. I love it. So, you know, my first round, which I did do a seed round, I didn't do like a note. I actually priced the round because It was 2019.
Yeah.
So the money was flowing. The world was a little
What
different.
did you value the company at, if you don't mind?
No, I don't
early
mind
days,
saying.
it's changed.
It was a 9 million pre.
Okay.
Did you have product? Or just idea?
I had not launched. I did have the product itself.
That's pretty crazy that you were able to value it at $9 million with no
revenue.
proof.
Yeah.
No revenue.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing though. The proof was me building other people's businesses first.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But that's why people
You
invest
also-
in the founder. I would invest in you.
Yeah.
then.
Also, those brand names, like.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm transparent whenever people are like, how do you meet investors? I'm like, it's not like I was in the investor community, but my background made them excited to meet me. But meeting the right investors is hard, even if you come from great businesses. Like, truly, it was my network. I mean, you have to back channel. Like, as much as it's like, here, I mean, there's so many things about fundraising. I will say this. The Away Girls taught me that people are lucky to invest in you.
And that's true.
Because you are about to do all the work. So it's like, you got to go into these meetings being like, you're lucky if you get to be a part of this, period. That's the energy. You also want to find someone who's philosophically aligned. So my seed investor, bless his heart, Austin-based guy, Andrew Mitchell from Brand Foundry Ventures. I just knew. Like the second we met at the Greenwich Hotel in New York, again, pre-COVID. So I didn't even know what a Zoom was. Like meeting with him, I had the comb, I had the brush, I had packaging. I had some graphic design. So Sho, who was my creative director, who's an amazing Japanese artist, he was our creative director at Away. So he was just working on this with me for fun. And I'm like, once I raise money, I'll pay you. You know, like let's just build the world together.
Yeah.
So I had the thing. And Andrew was like, I think this is a huge opportunity. So, but I've taken over 500 investor meetings. And I know I would go into meetings.
And you have to get a yes.
The other thing that I knew in my whole fundraise strategy through the B, by the way, has been raise as you go.
Yeah.
Do not over raise. So I was, again, learning from other people's experiences that raising $100 million is not a good idea. It is literally too much money. I don't know what I would do with if someone was like, Diana, here's $100 million wired into your bank account. I'm
never
like, what's
be
the point of running a
profitable.
business?
Yeah.
It's the most backwards thing. And when, that era of the 2010s, the aughts, it like made so much sense because it was like growth at all costs and acquiring customers was cheap. But like by the time that I was working on Crown Affair, the writing was on the wall that the culture was changing, right? And this was even pre-iOS updates. But you could start to feel that like saturation was happening. You really had to have a great brand, great product, great founder, all this stuff. So I raised my seed round. It came together in like a week and a half, which is crazy.
Unheard of. And how much was that?
August
Remind me.
too. And people are like, don't raise in the
million.
summer.
2 million.
It was 1.7
million.
at close. And then it ended up being 2 million, like a little bit after close because shout out to him, Brad Murray, who co-founded Tatcha, was like, oh, I really want in. So it ended up closing at 2 million. Which is crazy. And like,
That's unheard of.
I always.
you think so?
I
think the only reason that it was so possible for you, also because you had this incredible background. I think that's really hard for someone to raise 2 million.
Yeah.
Without the connect. I mean, you got the connections though, so
yeah.
you worked for it. I'm not saying that, but I just feel like that's impressive. I'm impressed.
I think it was also just like I knew I'd launched so many things before. I launched Tamar Mellon. I was part of the pre-launch and On For Away. I launched the Wings retail arm. I launched retail for Buck Mason. I launched Flamingo for Harry's.
You were putting in the work for years,
I know
basically.
exactly to the dollar amount how much money I need to make this thing happen.
Yep.
Whether it's influencer mailers, including UPS and FedEx shipping, collateral, hiring people, packaging, go-to-market plans, a photo shoot. I mean, I've done this stuff multiple times before.
Yeah.
So I was able to go to investors being like, here's the full go-to-market for Crown Affair.
Yeah.
I need exactly this for this, exactly this for this. I already have a list of 300 influencers I've worked with. Here's the strategy. I have PR people also. So for me, I think they felt really confident. I wasn't loosely being like, I've never worked before. I came from a big corporate company.
You've done it. Yeah.
I was like, there is a plan.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I knew it would take about $1 million between the website setup, the product development, inventory, minimum order quantities, insurance, legal, like every single line item on the spreadsheet was accounted for.
So why did you take 2?
Because that's how much you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how much you need. My advice is like, it's going to take you twice as long as you think to raise, and you need double the amount of money you think.
Yeah.
But you obviously have to do the economics of this, and every raise since. So that was our seed. And then we did a convertible note once we found out we were getting Sephora. So this sounds like a lot of money, but guys, it goes so
Totally.
It goes so
quickly.
fast. Yeah.
And
Especially if you're hiring people, which I
Correct.
assume you were right out the
I
gate.
was, but pretty slow.
Okay.
And a lot of contractors, and also like we weren't spending on paid. I was spending like $5,000 a month on like retargeting. I didn't go to market with budgets. Like,
So how were you scaling?
honestly, it was all through word of mouth. And scaling is a generous word. We were growing slowly.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
I tell
course.
people this, like
What was year one?
But also,
Year one was-
seed to 8 isn't about scaling. You
No.
know, it's about like testing and figuring things out.
Yeah, and getting the right brand positioning, the right partners, the right strategic retail. So for me, goals for year one were like launch at Violet Grey,
Yeah.
my beauty holy grail. To this day, we are still one of the only brands at Sephora, contemporary clean brands that has every single formula SKU approved by Violet Grey, which to me matters. Like I deeply care about that. Goop was our second partner. Gwyneth and the whole team have been rock stars. And by the way, like it started really like not, it was like the buying team reached out. Hey, this looks cool. We're seeing it. Maybe we'll try something. We were on consignment. It wasn't even a wholesale partnership. We're now the number 2 haircare brand on Goop for like years now, like
Amazing.
after the Goop product. And that's entirely organic. Gwyneth's an investor now.
Yeah.
Just because she liked the product. Like it's been a low and slow burn to growing this whole thing. And then we got the Sephora contract, which was huge. That's when we decided to raise a convertible note, which was between the seed and the A. That capital was entirely for inventory, team, visual merchandising. 56 end caps is not cheap, you know, like making sure we're also keeping the culture and doing all the right stuff. And then the A was because we got more doors. So the whole thing has been I call it the raise as you go strategy.
Yeah.
So it adds up over time, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. The Series B was 9 million. So these things add up and you're like, holy cow, I raised like over $15 million all of a sudden. But the truth is like it has been the right amount at the right time. And because of my background, also like I didn't come from, no one was going to like drop money on my doorstep to fund this. So I had to raise money. And I say that all the time. Like if you don't have to raise capital and you have alternate independent resources, like do that to the point that you want to. I've really enjoyed the journey of fundraising. I really have enjoyed the journey of the relationships that I have with my investors. Every single person on my cap table I could call right now.
Yeah.
And I have such a deep, caring relationship. And it's always been people first. And again, that philosophical alignment. Like I remember going to meetings and being like, wow, you're going to build the Away or Glossier of hair. And I'm like, I'm actually not. Like I'm not. I actually want like a beautiful, I'm not going to grow this thing to 100 million in revenue in 3 years.
Yeah.
Like year one, like I want to create a timeless brand. I want to create a beautiful brand. And what's so funny about where we are now is I feel like the first 5 years have been about creating a sexy brand. And now we're in the era of creating a sexy business.
Yeah.
And that's what Elaine is doing, you know, and making that all make sense. And obviously we do both at the same time, but it's kind of entering that new era. Year one, we did under $1 million. It was word of mouth, influencers, Goop, Violet Grey, G Beauty, all of that. Year 2, we did $2 million. Year 3, we did 4.6 million. We've literally doubled it every year. It's like 1 million, 2 million, 4.6, 8 point something, you know, almost under 10. By the way, when we were fundraising and we were under 10 million, we got the amount of no's that I got of like, people are like, my wife uses the product. I love this product. It's great. But like, you guys haven't hit 10 million. So like, you're not there. Like people that made investments in brands like Summer Fridays and stuff, sub 10 million. It was just the culture changes. And that's the thing about fundraising. And I say this to founders all the time. You really need to give yourself grace based off of the time that you're fundraising in.
Yeah.
Because the economics, it's actually not about you. Most of these investors you're talking to might not even have a fund to deploy. They are also fundraising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
With their LPs. So it's like, it's really not about you. It's about the timing, the alignment. And I've been so lucky. True Beauty Ventures, shout out to Rich and Christina and Caroline. They're epic. They're insane partners. They did our Series A. They did our Series B. They get beauty. They only do beauty. They were the main investors in K18. They had an incredible exit with that. They've worked with amazing founders. Rich has been doing this forever. So they're operators and really get Sephora. And, you know, they believe in us and they get what we're doing and they understand like, this is hard, especially not as a celebrity or influencers who has an audience to turn on. Like we've built this brand from a place of soul and that takes more time.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've been able to double the business year over year. The last 2 years we've done more strategic, you know, advertising, but like the ads don't work. It's not, it's literally the reason that Crown Affair is around is because the product is good. You know?
This is the perfect segue into something I really wanted to talk to you about. Well, now this year you'll do 30 million.
Yeah.
And I love your Substack, take your time.
Take your time.
And I love your philosophy on take your time because it's kind of like opposite of what people say out there. So tell me a little bit about that. And also, I'm big on vision boards and I know you are too. So tell me about your vision boards and the take your time philosophy.
Yeah. So take your time. Time is the core pillar of the brand. It's not that we're a clean hair care brand. It's not that we're sustainable. It's not that the actual core brand pillar is time. To me, that is the most fascinating topic, period. And time is the ultimate luxury. It is the core currency of what we have. And then obviously with your hair, it literally takes time to take care of it and grow it out. Like hair is a journey. If you get a haircut or do something that you want to do with your hair as self-expression, and you want to change it, it's going to take time. And it is about that patience with yourself. I have to give credit to Sho, my creative director, an angel from the Japanese heavens, because he is the most intentional, ritual-focused person I've ever met. He wakes up every single morning and paints on the New York Times, the sunset or the sunrise, and at night he paints the sunset on the New York Times. You can look, his name is Sho Shibuya. He is consistent with this. He's someone who wakes up and surf. He has taught me so much working at Away and at Crown Affair together. He's been such a core inspiration for me around slowing down and finding consistency. My journaling practice, I journal pretty much every single day.
And what's in the journal? Like what prompts?
It's morning pages. So from The Artist's Way, every morning, it's a tool from The Artist's Way, which is a book by Julia Cameron, a 12-week program for those who are curious or don't know. It has been transformative for my life. I do it almost every year. One tool in The Artist's Way is the morning pages. And you wake up every day, 3 stream of conscious pages. It just gets you, for me, that is my form of meditation. It just gets the thing out before the rest of the day. And as Julia would say, if you keep writing about something every day, you're probably going to figure it out. If you're annoyed by something or want to, you can't keep writing about something every day and not change it.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a really powerful thing. So, and then also there's a subtext, which is take your time back. I don't want to have to wash my hair every day. So I want to make things we are busy women. I didn't start this as someone who's watching 2-hour YouTube hair tutorials. I want to spend my time doing everything else but doing my hair. So it's this weird duality of take 3 minutes for yourself, brush your hair at night, slow down. But also it's by doing, by moving your body in a consistent way, by journaling, by brushing, these things actually give you more time back at the back end.
Yeah.
But honestly, all of this time, philosophy was a response to my previous life in consumer, which there was no taking of the time.
Yeah. Everything
was a fire. Everything was an emergency. It was 24/7. There was no balance. My nervous system was so shot. I'm so grateful for that time because I learned so much and it was a great work experience. But the entire culture, and you can ask anyone at Crown Affair, is we are people first and I need everyone to have balance and I need you to do the things that make you feel you. Having been an employee who knows what it's like to ask for a raise or been an employee who wanted to ask for vacation, just live your life.
Yeah.
If you need to go to a chiropractor appointment or an acupuncturist or a doctor at 2 on a Tuesday, I don't care. I don't care.
Same, I don't care.
Yeah. I don't care. You're living your life. If you need to go see your grandma and spend a week with her because that's important to you, that's actually going to make you a better team member. And it's a whole human. And I've obviously done so much self-work, therapy, coaching. I just did brain spotting therapy, which I wrote a Substack on. So the thing is just acknowledging and being honest that we're people. And my personal life goal, with Crown Affair, I really want to prove, I joke, I say this very jokingly, but I want to prove that you can have an incredible, successful business and also go to Burning Man.
Yeah.
You can build something really special and with meaning. With Crown Affair, for me, that's about not following trends, not making a cheap $12 lip gloss that's going to sell. It's actually putting a stake. You can make something beautiful that also works. And I feel for me personally, it's you can be ambitious and also slow down and be a whole person. And I don't, honestly, people ask me who my role models are often. And I have a lot of role models and North Stars in terms of the brands they've created or their positioning as founders. But honestly, this has been a personal journey to be my own role model of having balance in my life for myself, for my partner, for my team, for everyone, because I think it's possible. I'll let you guys know what the verdict is if this all continues to work out. But so far, it's been essential for emotional sustainability.
Yeah, totally.
Was that part of the thinking around hiring or bringing Elaine in as the CEO so that you could take back more time to focus on the things that are working for you? Or how did that come apart? Or was that just like part of Series B and needing to become a business that was more, like you said, about making the economics work versus building the brand?
Yeah. It was super organic. The truth is that like Aline was kind of doing the CEO role for a year anyway. Just like it wasn't acknowledged. It's just like she's running the business in that capacity. Like if you were to be like, Diana, what are your KPIs? It's not running the P&L. It's like I am making content. I am going to Sephora's. I'm doing education. I'm doing like it wasn't actually the CEO role. So it was just really organic. And she's so amazing at understanding my superpowers and where my time is spent. So it's hard. It required a lot of therapy and coaching. I think as a founder, it's hard to give up that CEO role. I meet people all the time. Yeah. To me, it's actually like kind of a funny red flag. I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you said this to me, but when people are like, I had someone DM me who doesn't know me, by the way, and was like, I can't believe you gave up the CEO role. But like some dude in San Francisco. And I'm like, wow.
You don't know what my skills are.
You are a deeply hurt person. Yeah. Like actually, it's such a gift if you are able to empower and authentically trust your team and you can release. Because the truth of any business is like, the essence of it isn't going to help you grow and scale. Yeah. And I was becoming a roadblock because if I just kept posting bonsai trees and like Zen gardens, like I'm not selling product at Sephora. You know what I mean? Like I need to remove myself from it. So Elaine knows when to tap me in. And I'm doing I have KPIs, I have goals as a founder. I'm technically chief brand officer. So I still have like a C-level. I'm a board member, obviously. Yeah. I am like the buck stops with me when it comes to like brand, vision, all of that. But like, I fully and 100% trust her as a person and a human to take this business into the next era.
And okay, so on that note, I mean, now it's like as a founder, you have to like create content too, which I find so hard. Yours is great. I'm curious, do you do that yourself or do you have somebody that helps you?
I do it myself. I have an amazing girl in Miami named Allie, but she's more like, she's really good at being like, Diana, post or like, let me go through these 20 photos or like make a quick edit. But like, I don't have someone with me. It's so funny being here. Like yesterday I was at a launch event with like big influencers and founders. And I'm like, these people have teams.
Oh yeah.
These people have teams that travel with them everywhere. Even today when I did KTLA, I ran into, shout out to Tarek and Heather from the Flip Off. Do you watch this HGTV show?
No, but I know Tarek and Heather.
It's amazing. I ran into them. Like,
Love them.
They were so sweet. Full teams, making content, editing stuff, posting things. So I'm solo on this mission is the answer. I love Allie, but I'm solo on this mesh. It has taken me a year and a half to get used to it because I did not start, obviously, I'm not an influencer.
Hard.
It's really hard. I'd never spoken to camera before until COVID. That was just.
Do you have any processes that work for you?
You know, the thing that helps me the most is being like, it's not how many people you reach, it's how many people you move. So I just go on there and I'm honest. And Substack has been like the gift of all gifts because I'm able to just like word vomit the thing that is true to me for people who have attention spans and want to read, because this is how Crown Affairs too. It's like nuanced. Like we're not like, here's the thing. I'm never going to start doing like dances. I'm not like a lip syncer. I'm not going to become a musician overnight. So like the only way for me to exist online is to be authentic and true. But yeah, it is so much work and it's something that is really a full-time job. Takes a lot of time.
Sure.
And you have to acknowledge that
especially
as a founder.
If it's not so like we had Nadia from August. I don't know if you know her.
Yes.
Like she produces something like 40 pieces of content and posts them a day herself. And I think that it comes so naturally to her that it feels like nothing. Like there was even after she left here, there was videos of us having conversations. I didn't even realize she was filming. You know, like it's just inherently her. I think if it's not inherently you, it is taking you 10 times longer. Correct. So not only is it a full-time job, it's
you have to get a team.
The thing too is like it's what's in alignment with you. For me, like there are so many things that I'm sure would perform super well on social media. I mean, I'm sure I could take a 6-second TikTok and just put whatever over it, but it's so out of alignment with who I am. Like I like doing things with intention. So yeah, I don't have a huge strategy around it. I just like post when things are happening. I share when things are happening. For me, I do really love the Substack. I try to do a couple a month. It's become such a special space and it's a really vulnerable space. But yeah, it's hard to like do this stuff. Editing takes the most time. It's not just filming it. Like I'll be traveling and I'm like, when am I going to edit this?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I also think like if you're a founder who wasn't for me, I'm like, who wants to see this is like so deeply ingrained in me. So it's been an unlearning of like, no, it's important to share.
Yeah.
You know, people want to know.
They want to know what's behind. So, okay, tell us about vision boards. And then you go, sorry. I just need to hear about the vision boards.
It's my life. I am like a huge believer that the things that you surround yourself with become the visual literacy of your life. And that includes mood boarding. So I do them twice a year. Beginning of the year for the new year, just like visualizing the year, and then the back half of the year, like usually around now, I'll actually just put in a keynote. I'm a keynote queen. Do you guys use Keynote?
It's the only thing I use.
don't.
I am obsessed with it.
Fuck Canva.
She sends me keynotes and I'm like, I can't.
Else.
I'm like, I don't want to open this deck in Canva. Like, stop.
I'm a Google Doc. Like,
I've actually had
I love
to
a Google
learn
Doc
Canva.
too.
keep it easy.
No,
keep it
that's
easy.
not
No, but
the
this
same
is
thing.
it's different.
Keynote?
We're talking about like a visual. No,
Yeah.
Universe of Apple Keynote people. I love you. Thank you for making my life so much better. I put everything in Keynotes, but then I am like a Pinterest mood board queen.
Same.
I'm obsessed. It's just I'm such a visual person. By the way, even for my Instagram stuff, I pull everything from my photos and put it in a Keynote before I post it. There's like apps like
So much
Planoly and
work.
stuff like that, but
Do you use Planoly?
no, I just Keynote. I Keynote everything. It helps
You
me
just go direct
visually.
from the platform. You don't use a
No, I
plan?
put everything in Keynote and then I'm like, oh, I see. I just need to see what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing is real to me until I Keynote it, is like the sad reality. That's how I keep my life
That's even
together.
how I do like website mock-ups when I want the team to change something.
Yeah.
I'm like doing it all in Keynote.
On my Substack, I've like broken down the step-by-step of how to vision board, and I think it's super powerful. I also am an advocate for tools in general that help you visualize your life. So this year, even I've done it with a couple of friends where we break out our life from 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, all the way through 100, right? I'm 34 right now. So in those 5-year gaps, you bullet point like the most important influences in your life. So maybe 0 to 5 is like mom, dad, sibling. 5 to 10 is like whatever, grade, or like a book that you read that's really cool, whatever it is, and best friend. You go all the way down through college and stuff. And then once you get to where you are, first of all, that's a whole trip of like what the core influences of your life has been. And then as I think about 35 to 40, 45 to 50, what do I want those things to be?
Wow.
I think just planting the seeds for your future is like so important. You know, some people call it manifesting, whatever you want to call it. To me, everything is first a thought. And I don't believe things will happen unless you start to think about them and visualize them.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I want to do some like really helpful moments here, but can we talk about a hair care myth that you wish would die?
I feel like this is so funny. I feel like shampoo and conditioner get the most myths about them. Like men are like, I don't shampoo my hair.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah. It's
Honey,
just water.
let's shampoo your hair.
Let's not do that.
I get why they don't want to shampoo. Like drugstore shampoos have tons of sulfates. They overstrip. It makes your hair look frizzy. Like it is an ingredient thing. So like that's a myth about shampoo that I'm like, let's change that narrative. Conditioner too. People like girlies with fine hair are like, I don't use conditioner. I don't use any because it weighs your hair down. So we created the first ever gel-based conditioner. You know in Korean skincare how you have gel moisturizers? Same concept. So instead of like a cream-based moisturizer, it's a gel-based moisturizer for your hair. So I feel like there's a lot of myths to like bust around the in-shower thing, because if you find the right ingredients and products for you, it can really unlock your hair's potential. And honestly, I love the post-wash products. I love styling, but like a lot of the foundation happens in the shower. And finding those right formulas is like, it kind of puts all the myths to bed, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so with starting a company, right, the launch is kind of this like big thing where you feel a ton of the energy off the back of it, and then it tapers out, right? And you're like, oh shit, now I got to make this company work. What was your next like holy shit moment of when you were like, okay, this is actually working?
Yeah. Okay. And not even that. 6 weeks after launching, COVID happened.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Was that good or bad for you?
You know, both.
Everyone
is the
thought
answer.
it would be bad, I think.
The bad part is like having worked at all these brands, so much of the gospel gets spread on the ground in person, connecting with people. And also it's like, everyone's like, what's going on? Period. Forget about any other businesses. It's like, is everyone okay? Are we healthy? What's going on in the world? What's going on with jobs? So it wasn't like, I couldn't really focus on that in that way. Also, I know digital audience. So it was the first time I ever spoke to camera. I had to figure out how to like scale that same surface area of special in person online for the first time. So that was a thing. And I say this to every founder, like launch was awesome. The first month was really good. There was a few month period where we're doing like 12 orders a day. And I'm like, fuck yes. You know, like I'm just trying, but you get a little delulu. Like you hear about these numbers and you're like, I say this all the time. I'm like, your projections on your spreadsheet of how much product you think you can sell is truly just based off what you think you can sell. So it's like, okay, we launched end of January. How many combs do I think I can sell in September? At what point, like, or how many oils, whatever it is. It's like, just get really tactical about it.
Yeah.
That took a while. I will say, like, Violet Grey, Goop, like those were really big moments. We also had some pretty big influencers and celebrities just like 1000% organically. Like I remember seeing a video on like Harper's Bazaar, like Rosie Huntington Whiteley is like, this is my favorite hair oil. This is like using the comb. And I'm like, how did she even get this?
Did
like,
you have PR at that point?
I had PR at that point. One guy, Ben, who I'd been working with it away, like us sitting on the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anything, but I feel like with launch, it was really interesting. The mailers were huge. Like Thursday before launch, we had like very few stories secured. Vogue was like, we'll include you in a roundup. Those mailers hit to all of my community and influencers from previous roles Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By Sunday, like every publication, Vogue was like, we need to get you on the phone. We're going to go live with the story on Tuesday. Like we're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
So I still, obviously it's so different now because of TikTok and unboxing is not what it once was. Granted, these were friends I built relationships with, so they wanted to support, but like that momentum of like social proof, I think is so key, whether that's a strategic retailer or community. I mean, the big like, holy cow, this could be real is Sephora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was life-changing.
What year was that?
That was 2 years after launch. So really the first 2 years were just like being the cool kids, doing awesome partnerships. We did DS and Durga for the first time then, like worked with Jennifer Behr. We worked with Madewell. We worked with so many amazing people, but it was like kind of niche. All the cool, you know, people knew about it. And then Sephora was the moment where I'm like, oh, wow, I can get this into the hands of so many more people. I can't believe Sephora understands the white space we're filling, which is like, I love Orbe, Kerastase, all this stuff, but none of it's clean. And then everything else that's new is just like not for me.
And did they reach out to you?
It was a mutual introduction. There was a merchant there who actually heard me on a podcast, Pia's podcast, Pia Baroncini. I was on her pod and Pia was just waxing poetic about the renewal mask. And a hair merchant at Sephora listens to her podcast and loves Pia as a fan. And that combination with Priya, who's like one of the top people under Artemis at Sephora, we had a mutual person. They were looking for more hair care. And it just was like right place, right time. But then, you know, I put a deck together, had to share the vision with them and what we were doing and where we fit. And it's so crazy because even a few years into, I think it's been 3 years with Sephora now, like it's crazy. We're still the only ones doing this. Like there are other brands that are doing, you know, are in our space, but like the vision of what Crown Affair is and has always been so clear. And being partners with Sephora has been one of the most beautiful educations of my whole life. Like the power that they have in beauty is just remarkable. I never worked with Sephora before. I had worked with Target on Flamingo. I've worked with other retailers, but Sephora is like this insane, incredible universe that is so powerful. And they've been amazing partners and really supportive. And by the way, like Haircare, you know, it's a makeup business. So it's like kind of fun. I think the tone of Haircare, like even other Haircare founders, it's kind of like we're all in this together, all boats rise. And like, especially the ladies who are a few years ahead of me, like Jen Atkin has become a mentor, a friend, has helped me so much. Nancy Twine, Briogeo, like she lives in Miami too. She's incredible. And I feel very lucky to have a lot of mentors, even in makeup too. Carissa from Hourglass, like Carissa is my North Star. What she has done with Hourglass, that's it. I want Crown Affair to be the Hourglass of hair care. Like they're never going to be the number one celeb brand, but they're always top 10. Amazing business. People go to them for prestige, quality. You know, it's a luxury brand, but it's accessible still and it's beautiful and you know you're getting great product. You know, so it's been an education, but that's been like the biggest unlock for sure.
And for people listening, like, you know, it sounds crazy that you have these mentors. It's like, oh, how am I just going to go get these mentors? But you literally can just make a list, reach out to the people you want. It doesn't have to be like the craziest, biggest people either. Like do some companies you admire. I've had people reach out and I've like taken on some people in that vein as well. So you can really just reach out if you are in need of a mentorship. Put it on your vision board and then reach out.
Yes. No, totally. And like I didn't know any of these people when I started Crown Affair. Like it would have never happened. It was totally, the reality is in mentorship, I have many people that are my mentees. It's always very organic. You know, like there's some, maybe they joined Seedling, our mentorship program, and they're part of that group. We've been doing 8 seasons of Seedling now. So I have a lot of little seedlings and, you know, different levels. Maybe honestly, as a mentee, and I feel this way with them too, right? It's like I have so much to learn from them. They have so much to learn from me too. It goes both ways. My mentees, I learn so much from. So it's like being organically in an ecosystem, whether you're like commenting on TikTok or engaging on a thing, it's like the relationship builds over time. And I think that's the best way to find a mentor, not just cold outreach, because the truth is we're all very busy people. And unless there's context, like candidly, I also do things like intro. I don't know if you're...
I found some great people from intro.
Great people. I have people who've booked me regularly. I have people who subscribe
That's
to
a way
my
to pay for
intro.
your mentor.
It's great, by the way. And when you pay for my time, I am locked in.
Same. I'm not like distracted at all.
Locked in. And then like, by the way, I'm a human. I want to keep supporting you. And maybe we'll get coffee when I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not.
Or post about it, whatever.
It's
so
like,
intro is a great way.
Yeah.
To find
It's a really good way to like start the conversation, even booking 15, 30 minutes if we really don't know each other. But yeah, I mean, all of this just happens organically by continuing to build your career, I think, you know?
One final question before we move to hot takes.
Yeah.
What advice, like what skill set do you think every founder needs to build a brand that scales like yours?
This is so funny. It's a quote from Elaine's late father. He used to say, he's from Korea, he moved here, and he used to say, be like submarine, but which means like just go under the radar. Like, like I think
quiet,
it's like a quiet, but like, you know, the people that need to know you're there and you're on the mission. I say be like the cockroach, jokingly, because you cannot kill me.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah.
I
Persistence.
think persistence, right? Yeah. Resilience, persistence, whatever it is. This is like, I'm joking, but like just every day wake up, move the thing an inch forward. All the things that I'm saying that sound amazing and fancy were not even in line of sight when I started this company. I am a girl from a small town in South Florida. If I went to college in Florida and never left, my parents would be like, you're amazing. Like there was no reason for me to be doing what I'm doing. And if anything, it's just about that persistence, enthusiasm, curiosity, ambition, and just like, yeah, continue to show up every day. It's the gym thing. Some days you don't want to go to the gym, but you just got to put on the gym clothes and keep going. And that's the whole thing with starting a business, is that
Hell yeah.
Incredible.
That's our TikTok clip.
I know. We like to end this with a hot take. So it can be about anything. You just have to give us one hot take. It can be hair care related. It can be food related. Doesn't matter.
It can be anything. Okay, so
literally anything.
You guys don't know this, but I do this every week of my life. It's inspired by I Don't Think So, Honey. Do you guys know this segment on
No.
Las Culturistas? Shout out to Las Culturistas, my other favorite podcast. It's Bo and Yang and Matt Rogers. There's a section on it called I Don't Think So, Honey. Their guest gets 1 minute on the clock to just go off on anything. They've had people like Mariah Carey. She does overhead lighting. It's next level. Like they've had amazing people on.
That's our hot take.
Hot take. Okay, so I'm going to give you my hot take that has nothing to do with anything because I had to experience that. I actually didn't experience it this week because I went to the Jonas Brothers concert at Intuit Stadium and I stayed later and was with a friend who was performing. So I did not experience this. But the other day I was at the Coldplay show. I Don't Think So, Honey / hot take, leaving concert venues after a fucking concert. Literally, I sound insane right now, but this is my hot take this week. The lack of logistics that have happened when you leave a concert. People were at Rufus du Sol here in LA. The second you leave, it takes an hour and a half to get an Uber. People were just at Oasis this week. They're like, I almost don't want to go because I don't know how to get home.
Yeah.
Like it's so chaotic. I don't know why the Uber drop-off points. I'm kind of just joking right now, by the way, but like the Uber drop-off points are like, go to lot 30, which is 2 miles away from the concert venue. You have the best night of your life. You are jamming out to Oasis. You're vibing at Rufus du Sol. You see Coldplay, who I love and I've never seen in my life. And then I leave and I have to figure out an hour and a half of logistics.
I leave 30 minutes early, but I'm also like a mom, so
but then
easy.
like the best
I leave
show
30
is at
minutes
the
early.
end.
I don't care though. I don't care. I don't want that.
Okay, so here's the
horrible 2
learning.
hours.
You leave 30 minutes early or you just like stay at the venue for an hour.
Yeah.
My hot take
Your hot take is they should have to leave in sections.
They should have to. My hot take is let's create some operational systems around concert departures.
It's bullshit. Hollywood Bowl, 30 minutes
Bowl,
early. Going to LCD next week.
Are you a Virgo?
No, but my husband is. And I think it's really rubbed off on me the last 12 years with him. I'm a Taurus, but I don't know. That might have been a bad hot take, but I really want that to happen for us because I love concerts and I want us to not have to experience that after a concert.
Thank you so much, Diana. We have so much more to talk about. We're going to have to invite you back, but this is an amazing episode. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching this episode of Hot Takes, Big Stakes. If you liked the episode, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment below.